Hello everyone. Pranav is here again. Today I am going to explain hydrogenerator part 18. All other links of the previous parts are given under the description box. Change it to- Required data for exciter transient response. 1. Ceiling voltage, that is maximum possible DC voltage which exciter can able to supply. Configured with control and power element, the excitation system is equipped with best possible ability to provide the required field current to maintain voltage at generator terminals under the voltage regulation or field current regulation operation. As an additional feature, the excitation unit provides the protection, monitoring, logging, and sequence control functions. Ceiling voltages, which are the absolute maximum values of the DC positive or negative that the excitation system can able to supply at its terminals when the generator is rotating with full load at nominal speed condition. PID, that is proportional integral derivative controllers in automatic channel control loop associated with the terminal voltage regulation of the generator is perfectly linked with the factor of ceiling voltage of the excitation system. It is obvious that the exciter has to supply direct current to the generator field winding at whatever voltage is required to overcome the resistance of the winding under definite conditions. The rating of the exciter is thereby specified as its output power, current, and voltage corresponding to the generator rating with maximum capability limit conforming the withstanding temperature of the generator's field winding. However, specified exciter rating must have some margin over such requirement. Excitation system has to regulate the generator output by means of using closed loop or feedback control. So the higher the ceiling voltage, quicker will be the AVR control. In closed loop control, the generator output signal is always routed back to the controller and compared to a set point, and the error between the set point and output is used to compute the system response. So exciters would have to operate over a wide voltage and current range as ceiling requirements, which are considerably determined under following conditions. A. At no load conditions. B. Ceiling voltage under load with the excitation system supplying ceiling current. That is, the ceiling requirements must be specified in excess as that of the requirement for full load conditions. Under power system disturbance conditions, that is, extensive study of the connecting grid system is normally required for determining excitation system parameters for large generators from stability point of view. D. For excitation system with a rotating exciter, the ceiling voltage is determined at generator rated speed. Exciter response. Number 2, the exciter is required to have a fast response with the rapid changes in excitation voltage and current range at its own rotor terminals. Exciter transient performance is characterized by the exciter response ratio as defined in BS 5000 Part 2. Exciter response ratio equals to average rate of increase in excitation open circuit voltage divided by nominal excitation voltage. Now, you see the diagram, that is excitation system voltage and time in seconds. Here, D is the ceiling voltage for brushless excitation system and C is ceiling voltage for high initial response of static excitation system. From the figure, when exciter voltage response ratio at the change of exciter voltage in 0.5 seconds, then average rate of increase of excitation open circuit voltage is given by the slope of AC. Then slope of AC is equal to BC by AB, but AB equals to 0.5 second. Hence, AC equals to 2 BC. And nominal exciter response ratio is 2 BC by OA, where 2 BC, the rate of increase of the excitation system output voltage, OA, the rated field voltage. The excitation system nominal response is defined as the rate of increase of the excitation system output voltage determined from the excitation system voltage response curve divided by the rated field voltage. Again, I repeat, the excitation system nominal response is defined as the rate of increase of the excitation system output voltage determined from the excitation system voltage response curve divided by the rated field voltage. The rate of increase of the excitation system output voltage, if maintained constant, would develop the same voltage time area as obtained from the actual curve over the first 0.5 second interval. Actually, it is specified only for brushless excitation system. Number 3, power system stabilizer. Excitation systems with high gain and fast response are mainly specified for transient stability of large generators. For damping generator rotor angle swings, the excitation system is also configured with power system stabilizer. Again, I repeat, for damping generator rotor angle swings, the excitation system is also configured with power system stabilizer. The basic function of the power system stabilizer is to apply a signal to the excitation system, creating electrical torques that damp out power oscillations. In large interconnected systems, disturbances of small magnitudes, mainly due to low frequency oscillations ranging from 0.2 to 2 Hz, pose a major problem. Power system stabilizers are used in these large interconnected systems for damping out low frequency oscillations by providing auxiliary control signals to the generator excitation input. In present context, power system has become a highly complex and nonlinear system. The most troublesome dynamic oscillation or instability has instigated as due to certain load variations, line outages, and also some other factors like characteristics of various control devices and electrical connections between the components. High gain and quick acting automatic voltage regulators are used in excitation systems which invite low frequency oscillations in the system. Such low frequency oscillations may have to restrict power transfer capability of the system. System means excitation system. Moreover, these oscillations have badly instigated the rotor angle deviation of the synchronous machines. If adequate damping is not provided to the system and the rotor angle deviation continues to act, which results a loss of synchronism. Again, I repeat, if adequate damping is not provided to the system and the rotor angle deviation continues to act, which results a loss of synchronism. Most important part, the power system stabilizer provides modulation of field voltage that damps out power and rotor speed oscillations of the machine through normal automatic voltage regulator control. In proportional integral derivative controller that has been used to provide modulated signal to AVR for damping out the low frequency oscillations. So, power system stabilizers are most commonly used to damp out the system oscillations and also to enhance the damping ability of electromechanical modes. To provide damping to the generator rotor oscillations by controlling its excitation using the stabilizer, which has to produce a component of electrical torque in phase with the rotor speed deviations. Number 4, excitation current limiters. As connected to grid network, it is a normal practice that the excitation control system for generators of significant capacity and size would have been configured with the AVR control mode. With their coordinated control response assist the system connected generators to maintain power system voltage within acceptable limits by supplying or absorbing reactive power as required. While the system hazards where short circuits being the system voltage bring the system voltage abruptly down, then electrical power cannot fully be delivered by the generators to the connected transmission system. Fast response excitation system starts to assist for boosting the synchronizing torque and allow the generator to remain in synchronism with the system. Having the short circuit cleared, the resulting oscillations of the generator rotor speed with respect to the system frequency will cause the terminal voltage to fluctuate above and below the AVR set point. By configuring the maximum and minimum excitation limiters within the excitation control system, will then start actuating to prevent the AVR from imposing these unacceptable coordinations and the conditions upon the generator. Excitation control limiters as configured with under excitation limiters, over excitation limiters, and volts per hertz limiters. These limiters are intended to limit operation of the generator to within its continuous capabilities and associated equipment tolerances. The generator capability shown in figure is a composite of three different curves. One is stator winding limit, that is relative to stator winding current carrying capability. Rotor heating limit, relative to the rotor current carrying capability. Number three, stator end iron limit. The set points of the generator excitation control limiters can be framed in coordination with the mentioned limiting curves. Now let's see the curve. Okay. However, for framing the set point of the UEL, that is under excitation limit control, further coordination is required with respect to the steady state stability limit of the generator, which is a function of generator impedance, system impedance, and generator terminal voltage. Excitation system seldom operates at the farthest level of its capabilities until the system voltage tends to rise or fall beyond the normal operating range. The excitation control system, designing with the limiters and additional protective delays deployed as backup, must have to coordinate with regard to both pickup magnitudes as well as time delays. Under excitation limiter. Inclusion of the under excitation limiter in excitation system is one of the most important and rather effective upswing so far been achieved to prevent the machine from loss of synchronism as well as protect from exceeding the boundary of the underexcited capability limit, which otherwise leads to overheating of the stator part. Under excitation limiter limits the imaginary part of the stator current, which is due to the absorption of reactive power by the machine from the connected grid. Large absorption of reactive power by generators while in underexcited operating mode are likely to occur when the machines are connected with long lines, heavily shunt compensated transmission system with concentrated loads, high rate of frequency dumping caused by abrupt generation deficit, etc. Under excitation limiter has imposed to prevent the generator from exceeding its core end heating limit and or its stability limit when it is operating at a leading power factor, that is absorbing reactive power VAR from the connected system. Minimum excitation current limit, which has to act instantaneously so that generator is not allowed to get out of synchronism or synchronization. Minimum excitation current limit, which has to act instantaneously so that generator is not allowed to get out of synchronization. Significant points to be noted for UEL. Under excitation limiter is so designed that it acts to restrict the AVR activities from reducing excitation current to such a low level that the generator is in danger of losing synchronism, exceeding underexcited capability limit, or tripping due to exceeding set point of loss of excitation protection. The under excitation limiter has been configured with the function that must prevent from reduction of field current to a level where the generator loss of a field protection relay operates. The under excitation limiter should be set to operate prior to reaching the stator end iron heating limit. The under excitation limiter time delay should be minimal. Some limiters do not have an intentional time delay but utilize a damping setting or provide a circuit to stabilize the limiter output. In addition, there may be a setting to have a proportional increase with the limiter output, and that has to be closely dependent upon the severity of the under excitation condition, that is, increased output for a more severe condition. The limiter manufacturer should be consulted with the user customer before finalizing these parameters. All set point of under excitation limiter would have been made with prior coordination of the maximum boundary level of the generator capability curve and the set point of loss of field relay plus the characteristics of UEL itself. These characteristics must vary for each generator with connecting system configuration. The loss of field relay must be set to allow the generator to operate within its under-excited capability zone. An under-excited limiter is used to limit the level of reactive power, that is VAR loading, flowing into the generator. The limiter operates in conjunction with the AVR signal to prevent from excessive under-excitation of the synchronous machine. The limiting value is proportionally adjusted to prevent the machine from pulling out of synchronism or pole slipping or overloading the stator circuit by an excessive increase in VAR loading at the time of under-excited operating conditions. Pole slipping occurs when the machine's stability limit has exceeded, causing excessive mechanical and electrical stresses. Operation with any sort of overloading, even without exceeding the machine stability limit, may cause stator overheating, and that can lead to a reduced life expectancy of the machine. Partial or total loss of field on a synchronous generator is always to be determined to both the generator and power system to which it is connected. Such happening must be quickly detected, and the generator should immediately be isolated from the system to avoid massive damage. A loss of field condition, if it is not detected or timely intervention is not done, can have a devastating impact on the power system by causing both a loss of reactive power support as well as creating a substantial reactive power drain. Occurrence of reactive power drain out while a large generator is facing a loss of field can cause a substantial system voltage dip. As the synchronous generator has lost its field, then immediately it operates as an induction generator, causing a rapid increase of rotor temperature due to the pole slip induced eddy currents in rotor iron. The high reactive current drawn by the generator from the power system can have to overload the stator windings. These hazards are instigating further damage to the machine in addition to have a crossover beyond the previously mentioned stator and iron heating limiting zone. The most widely applied method for detecting a generator loss of field condition on major generators is the use of distance relays to sense the variation of impedance as viewed from the generator terminals. Overexcitation limiter. Overexcitation limiter The excitation system of a generator is capable to provide the energy for producing the magnetic field, satisfying magnetizing reactance that keeps the generator in synchronism with the system grid. For maintaining the synchronism of the generator, the excitation system also affects the amount of reactive power that the generator may absorb or produce. Every excitation system is configured for delivering maximum current appreciably greater than the required continuous value based on thermal considerations of the basic components of the generator itself. Generator reactive power output will be enhanced with the increase of excitation current as applied. However, overexcitation is sometimes to be necessary for generator operation to deliver additional reactive power for early suppression of some selective faults so as to maintain a synchronous torque even when the machine voltage level has dropped down. The excitation system equipped with voltage control mode through AVR is capable to maintain generator output voltage within acceptable limits by supplying or absorbing reactive power as per the prevailing situation. In disturbances where short circuits depress the system voltage, then electrical power cannot be fully delivered by the generator to the transmission system. Fast response of the excitation system helps to increase the synchronizing torque to allow the generator to remain in synchronism with the system. After the short circuit has been cleared, the resulting oscillations of the generator rotor speed with respect to the system frequency will cause the terminal voltage to fluctuate above and below the AVR set point. Excitation controlling features are acted upon to prevent the AVR from imposing unacceptable conditions upon the generator. These controlling features are configured with the maximum and minimum excitation limiters. Salient points on overexcitation limiter. Synchronous generators, when overexcited, they start supplying reactive power to the connecting system network. Synchronous generators, when underexcited, they start absorbing reactive power from the connecting system network. The capability to continuously supply or absorb reactive power is, however, limited by the field current, armature current, and end region heating limits. The generators are equipped with AVR, which continually adjusts the field excitation so as to control the armature current voltage. So, overexcitation limiter is so designed that it must limit the flow of excitation current to prevent from overexcitation above a level which would cause thermal overloading in the generator field winding. While the field current value exceeds acceptable levels, the OEL has to act in order to keep the field current within the appropriate range. So the purpose of imposing the OEL is to ensure that the thermal capability of the generator field winding is never been exceeded while the automatic voltage regulator is in control. Normally, The field winding can have the possibility to withstand the overexcitation phenomena for short periods of time. To have a better coordination between limiter and field over voltage or overcurrent relays, the overexcitation limiter will usually have two levels of set point. First, the OEL has to accomplish with a fixed instantaneous limiter that prevents overexcitation beyond a set point. Second, the OEL has put up an inverse or fixed time characteristics after which excitation is regulated to near rated field current. In both the cases, that is instantaneous and inverse time limiters, the response is rather detected by the timer, which always compares the field current value to a minimum limit value in accordance with the rotor capability curve of the generator. Limiters must be coordinated with the protective relays as corresponds to safe operational capability range of the generator. In case of limiter malfunctioning, then the operating range of the generator can be regulated by providing additional protective relays whose settings are so adjusted to protect the machine and at the same time allow the limiters to have enough time to perform before tripping the unit. So, the coordination of the limiter and the relay is really be a critical configuration. It has become much important to discriminate between the overexcitation limiter and an overexcitation protection device. While an overexcitation limiter has become responsive to act with the signal from the voltage regulator to reduce and maintain the field current within the capability of the field winding, whereas an overexcitation protection device serves to remove the voltage regulator from service or trip the generator offline. When configured with an OEL, then the OEP, that is overexcitation protection device, serves as a backup to the OEL, that is overexcitation limiter, and should be set in coordination with the overexcitation limiter and the reactive capability curve of the generator. If the limiters are adjusted correctly and responds properly, then the machine should not trip through these relays. The minimum level of field current at which the overexciter limiters picks up is around 105% of rated field current. Volts and Hertz ratio limiters. The basic concept of this limiter is to limit the ratio of terminal voltage to speed. This type of limiter has configured in excitation system as because high gain AVR is implemented to have a sharp control of generator terminal voltage. Voltage produced by generator stator winding, that is V is equal to 4.44 F K N phi. So phi equal to V by 4.44 F K N, where V is the terminal voltage in RMS, F is the frequency in Hertz, K is the distribution factor, N is the number of series turns, phi is the flux in Weber. Because K and N are constant for a particular machine, therefore, the flux is directly proportional to the voltage and inversely proportional to frequency. from the derived equation 1. Thus, if somehow generator frequency drops down while the AVR maintaining the terminal voltage constant, then there will be an increase in the flux level at the stator core of the generator and core of the transformer as connected to the generator terminals as well. As compared to turbo generators, the hydro generators usually have small air gap between the stator and rotor, which results in high electromagnetic forces between stator and rotor. It is mainly because of the hydro generators are configured with salient pole rotors. So, an excessive increase in the flux level will cause abnormal rise of hysteresis and eddy current losses, resulting core overheating of the mentioned devices. Volts-Hertz ratio limiter must be coordinated with the possibility of under-frequency operation during automated startup and shutdown or case of islanded operation. Typical automated control scheme is equipped with a speed switch to enable and disable the generator field excitation. During startup, the speed switch normally enables field excitation at 95% of nominal speed of the generator, and instantly terminal voltage of the generator will reach 100% of rated and more even before the machine reaches 100% speed. During startup, again I repeat, during startup, the speed switch normally enables field excitation at 95% of nominal speed of the generator, and instantly terminal voltage of the generator will reach 100% of rated or more even before machine reaches 100% speed. Function of the volts per Hertz limiter would have become active with the direct coordination of signal as initiated depending on the amount of terminal voltage overshoot and its corresponding governor response. Also, at the time of shutdown, the field excitation has to be made disable through the speed switch when the speed dropout limit is set to around 85% of nominal speed. While the generator speed is decreasing, function of the volts per Hertz limiter would have become active to reduce the generator terminal voltage. In case of islanded operation, function of volts per Hertz limiter can protect to all of the connected transformers and loads in the island from substantial damage. Salient points on volts per Hertz limiters. Overvoltage or under frequency has to instigate overexcitation on generators. Overfluxing occurs while the VNF ratio exceeds its nominal value. When the volts and frequency ratio exceeds 105% for a generator, severe overheating can occur. Volts per Hertz limiter has to limit the generator volts Hertz ratio by limiting the generator voltage to a programmed setting. Steady state limit are plus minus 5% of rated generator stator terminal voltage at rated frequency. Volts per Hertz limiter is not at all a variable function, but it is a limit function as coordinated with the AVR set point. In case of any malfunction of the exciter's volts Hertz ratio limiter, then an additional provision of volts per Hertz protection relay is incorporated to serve as a backup protection and is set based on the short time capability of the generator and transformers connected to the generator terminals. From an excitation standpoint, it will be the real concern while the volts per Hertz value has become somehow excessive, resulting in overexcitation of the generator. Such occurrence may lead to have saturation of the iron core of generator and connected transformer, resulting the breakdown of core interlamination insulation due to excessive voltage and eddy current heating. During system hazard, generator overexcitation may have the probable cause as due to sudden loss of load because of transmission line tripping, and for which generator might have been pushed to islanding from the power grid with little load and the shunt capacitance of the unloaded transmission lines. The limiter has then triggered to limit the value of generator volt-Hertz ratio output to a maximum set value within the generator capability curve. Even with the excitation control is equipped with volts per Hertz limiter, but still it is a common practice to provide separate volts per Hertz relaying system in addition to prevent from unusual fluctuation of generator volts Hertz ratio output. The selection of upper and lower set value of the exciter's volts per Hertz limiter should have to be made as corresponds to the upper limit of the normal operating range and below the continuous operating limit for the generator and unit connected transformer. Similarly, the set point of volts Hertz relay should also to be configured with enough delay to allow AVR control action to take place before tripping the unit. Similarly, again I repeat, similarly the set point of volts per Hertz relay should also to be configured with enough delay to allow AVR control action to take place before tripping the unit. This is done as because the AVR control has technically capable to adjust generator terminal voltage within seconds. Transient overvoltage as due to sudden loss of load is immediately be taken care of by the AVR and the machine governor system. If somehow connected AVR fails to serve this purpose, then the volts per Hertz relay as backup will protect the generator from damage. Normally, two types of volts per Hertz limiters are configured in modern excitation systems. One, a ratio type limiter that will keep maintaining the volts per Hertz ratio to the set point for all values of frequency. Number two, the type of limiter that reduces the voltage from the set point by the same amount as the per unit frequency deviation, as the limiter will not maintain a constant volt Hertz ratio. So it is suffixed by non-ratio type limiter. Thank you. Let's stop here. further to be continued at later stage. Thank you for listening the video. Kindly do like, share and subscribe. Your subscriptions would encourage to post more videos. Also share your comments or feedbacks inside the dedicated comment section. If you have any suggestions or specific topic you want, then let me know in the comment section.